again, scale time. Okay, don't you miss that I make each of you lead a scale this week? I know. Don't worry, we'll be back at it next week. But let's talk about it. We have one flat scale left, and that's it. Then we have the chromatic scale, and we're at the end of the circle of fifths. Well, actually, the chromatic scale, the last one, isn't even in the circle of fifths. But let's talk about our flat side of the scale, okay? Remember, up at the top we had C major, which had no sharps, no flats. Then we move on to one flat. We're going backwards on the clock. So that would have been at the 11 o'clock position. That was F major, which had one flat, which was what? What's the order of flats? The first flat is B flat. Then we did the scale that has two flats. What were the two flats? B flat and E flat. And remember, the trick for the flat scales is you can always think of what's the second to last flat. So B flat and E flat. So B flat, there's only two. That's the name of the scale. So two flats is B flat. The reason I didn't mention that with the one flat with F is because there's not a second to last flat. There's only one. So you just have to memorize. F has one flat. B flat has two flats. B flat and E flat. Okay, then we did three flats. What would the three flats be? B, E, and A. Remember, it starts to spell a word. So the second to last one, B, E, A, E, is the name of the flat scale with three flats, is E flat. Four, this was our one from last week. Bead, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat. Second to last one was A flat. That was the name of that scale. Now our last one, we need to add a fifth flat. B, E, A, D, and G flat is the new flat we need to add, okay? So we're going to keep B, E, A. Here are the names of those open strings. E and A and D. And now we're adding our last open string, G. So all the open strings are flats. And the name of this scale is the second to last flat, B, E, A, D, G flat. So it's called D flat major, okay? So let's start on D flat. So we can't start on open D because that's D natural. So how do we make a lower than D? Take your fourth finger and instead of stretching it out for regular D natural, put it low for D flat. Okay, so there's our first note. Everybody play a D flat. Now E flat has to be low first. F natural. G is flat, okay? So remember in our last scales how we were crunching that third finger back and they felt like they were all really close together? That's what's gonna happen here for the G flat. It's the same as F sharp. Let's try those four notes again together. D flat, E flat, F natural, G flat, E flat, sorry, A flat, B flat, C, and D is not natural, it's flat, so way back here, where the second finger normally is. E flat, F. This one's the one that's going to feel most unusual to you at all. G flat is way back here. It's the same thing as what? F sharp. So first and second are both squished right next to each other all the way back there near the pegs. F natural and then G flat, which is F sharp. When we shift up again, let's not shift too high because it's only A flat, B flat, C, and D flat, so right next to it. Back, D flat, C, B flat, A flat, way back, G flat, F, E flat, D flat, C, B flat, A flat, G flat, way back, F, E flat, D flat. Okay, let's try it a little bit better pace. Ready, and... fingers are scrunched way back closer than they usually are, you're doing it right, okay? They are. It's an awkward feeling for us when we're used to playing in so many sharps and stretching them out to have them all scrunched back together. Let's think about where they would be in the relation to the tapes, okay? So D flat's low, E flat's low, F's low, G flat's low, A flat's low, B flat's low, C's low, D flat's low. So far in the first octave, nothing is where the tape would be. Everything is lower than that. Let's keep going. E flat, F, G flat. Okay, so that one right there. My second is where my first finger tape would be, but it's the second. Then we shift up and we're low again. A flat, B flat, C, D flat. So now are you seeing again why this one kind of feels awkward? Because nothing is where the tape, the old position of the traditional position of where we used to put our tapes, traditionally was, okay? So it does feel unusual. Practice that one. One of the best ways to practice this scale is to put on your tuner, okay? I'm not there to tune you, so hopefully you're tuning your own instruments this week with your tuning apps anyway. Pull your tuning app up and first play a D. Make sure your D is in tune. Then play D flat. And make sure it's registering a D flat and not a D, that you're not starting on a D. And then check that the right notes are coming up and it's showing that they're in tune. D flat, E flat, F, G flat. And it might say, for some of them, like when you're playing G flat, it might say F sharp. That's okay. Remember, that's enharmonic notes. That's the same note. So as long as it says one or the other, G flat or F sharp, you're playing it right. But practicing your scale with the tuner is the way to go. Practice D flat scale.